In this video, guys, we're gonna do a showcase on the new School of Damage that was released in Season 3, The Shadow, the new Necrosis team. Now, I meant to do this video a bit earlier because I've already done the other two Schools of Damage, which was Corrosion and, of course, the Aura one, but I did not have a chance to do it on The Shadow. So I'm gonna do it from my main account rather than the test server. I'm gonna show you basically what they can do, and this might help you to decide if it's worth pulling for these characters on your account or not, right? Before we get into it, if you guys enjoy the content, do me a favor, smash a like, subscribe to the channel. It really helps a lot. And if you guys want to put your hand on free Helialite dice and gems and tons of other goodies, you still have a few days left to do it. All you gotta do is click on the link in the description down below and make sure you won't be missing out. Use code Skratch. You're gonna be able to claim some additional free rewards in the process as well. Plus, you're gonna help to support the channel. But let's quickly talk about the new School of Damage. So we already had the banner. The banner is on at the moment. Let me just quickly show you the banner actually, because you can select Ozul from here. So this is the new exclusive for the Necrosis, the Shadow one. It comes with a couple of legendaries, and we have a bunch of different epics available as well. Some of the epics are decent, nothing too crazy. One of them is actually pretty good, right? And that is Stealthy. Cheater and Tatot are not that great. Then we have Sifla as the rare, Aspalta, Daphne, and Ozul. Now, he's an exclusive. He has his own exclusive artifact. Basically, they will use a different type of energy, which is the shadow energy. Now, in the past, in the old version, that used to work different on all of the skills. As you guys can probably notice, in order for him to activate and use this skill, he needs to reach 70 and then 100 shadow energy in order to unleash the skill. Unlike other skills that have a timing. This one, the battle skill, for example, has a 5 seconds initial cast and 10 seconds for the recast. Now, in the past, all of their skills used to be based on shadow energy only. They've changed that. Ozul, in the past, he was actually pretty good. He wasn't the most powerful one or anything like that, but he was good. Now, they've changed him now, and he deals derivative damage instead of regular raw damage, which, in my opinion, I'm seeing it almost as a nerf. It's very hard to compare it with what it used to be in the past, because I really do not remember to have a threshold to test the characters versus the same content with the same gear and all that. Is impossible to do that, but I do remember him stronger than he currently is. Now, because it's all about charging their shadow energy as fast as possible, you will of course have to use some of the characters that will provide shadow energy with either passives or battle skills in order to get their skills up and running fast. Now, that gives you the ability to do it faster than you would do it with regular characters that will require the ultimate energy in order to use their ultimate skills. Aspalta is actually a really good one. She does deal pretty good damage too, plus she has a pretty sick design, except that hair, which just doesn't fit with the rest of the body. But with her passive at the start of the battle, grants 80 stacks of Heart of Hate to all shadow allies, and they will lose a stack after every 1 second, which will increase the damage dealt. Now, for whoever did not really understood the shadow energy, let me just read exactly what the game says. Dealing damage with basic attacks, battle skills grants shadow energy. 10 points for each basic attack. Now, the higher is the attack speed on your characters, the more shadow energy you are going to acquire. Think about the Dauntless team. The more battle skills, the more basic skills they use, sorry, not battle skills, the more damage they deal. More or less the same story for these characters. The more often they're using their basic skills, I keep want to say battle skills, they will charge that energy faster, which will enable them to use their ultimate skill faster. Now, when the hero has enough shadow energy, they can cast their ultimate skill, and the shadow energy is immune to effects that increase, decrease, or steal ultimate energy. So this is another advantage, but this makes them really good for PvP. The battle skill, for example, on her, throws a shadow blade at a target, dealing damage to enemies, and gains 10 shadow energy for each enemy hit, and gains additional 200% shadow energy when casting this skill in battle for the first time. So that's going to be a lot of shadow energy, which will allow her to use this ultimate skill much faster and do good damage, because this will ignore 50% of the enemy's defense as well, and is a good AoE skill. If we're going to have a look at Daphne, for example, so her passive, the hero gains an additional 20% shadow energy. Also, if the hero possesses a target when gaining shadow energy, the possessed target gains the same amount of shadow energy. So she's basically going to possess the ally that's closest to her, but we're going to get to that skill in a second. Then, with a battle skill, randomly attacks up to 3 enemies, dealing attack necrotic damage, and gains 10 shadow energy on each enemy hit. This skill can be cast when possessing an enemy. So the faster she's going to use this battle skill, the better, because she's going to provide ultimate energy, shadow energy to each, to herself for each enemy hit, which will enable her to go into the ultimate skill faster, and will possess the nearest ally for 15 seconds, during which time the possessed target deals attack necrotic damage to surrounding enemies every 1 second, and the possessed target gains attack up equal to 30% of her own attack. That's why it's very important. Now, as I was saying, some of the epics like Taldi is actually pretty good. He used to be even better before, if I remember it correctly. When gaining shadow energy, grants 30% of the shadow energy to another shadow ally. So this will boost the other teammates as well. With a battle skill, casts the spell 3 times. Each time gains 15 shadow energy. And with the ultimate skill, which makes him a pretty good character for the Witch's Remains. Of course, not versus PvP enemies, because they will be all spread out, and this is a 3x3 box. Strikes enemies within range 3 times. With each strike dealing necrotic damage, grants all shadow allies 5 shadow energy, which will enable them to get into it faster. So think about granting them ultimate energy, but it cannot be manipulated, which is really good. Now, Ozul, he will deal enlightenment damage. With a passive, the hero permanently gains an undispellable stack of host imprint for every 50 shadow energy obtained up to 5 stacks, which will increase the enlightenment by 10%. With a battle skill, fires an orb at the target, dealing necrotic damage to the target and enemies around them, gaining 30 shadow energy. Really good. When the hero is in demon form, deals 600% attack derivative damage to enemies within 2 tiles around the hero instead, and then gains 20 shadow energy. The whole idea is he starts as a range character, and once he becomes the demon, he's gonna be a melee character. And the ultimate, which will transform himself into a demon in the designated location where you're targeting the skill. While in demon form, the hero gains attack speed up and damage reduction, with his basic attack splashing on enemies around the target. Basic attack increases to 200% derivative damage, then deals 750% derivative damage to enemies within range, and the hero will consume 10 shadow energy every 1 second in shadow form, and exits it when the shadow energy is depleted. Now, in the old version, you were able to keep him always in this form. Okay, from what I've seen now, even with the epic, I was not able to do it anymore. But I haven't played them non-stop because I find them a bit underwhelming, especially in PvE. I feel like they're struggling to get the content done. I'm not even going to talk about dungeons like the Grave of Venom or other areas like that, because I really do not find them very suitable for that type of content when we're comparing them with Frost, Ice Blast, Dauntless, and those are old schools of damage, and the majority of you guys that are here in Season 3 will most likely have more characters from those schools of damage than you will have from the new school of damage. Plus, this will require, of course, new skill ups, not tomes, and you might not want to invest the resources. And going for Ozul as an exclusive twice, if you're unlucky, it might not necessarily be the right decision unless you're a big spender, right? But without further ado, let's start with a PvE match. And first, I actually want to take the team versus the dummy. So we're going to go to the drilling grounds. We're going to put AoE because why not? So let's put 5 of them. Let's give them maximum level because why not? And let's put them in for 120 seconds. Now we're going to go to Necrosis. Bring her in. So she's going to possess the ally that is the closest to her. We're going to put Aspalta right there. I do not have any other one built. I don't have the Epic either. But even with him in the team, we're really not going to pull that much off. We can keep him in there. And let's just say we are going to use... Where is she? The War Mother. And let's bring in a pet too. There's no need to time anything here in terms of skill ups. So we're going to have the Dark Lady going in with her ultimate skill, applying the defense down. Can actually put it on 2x speed for a second. We have Aspalta going, Teddy. And now he became a demon. And his shadow energy is slowly decreasing. But at the same time, we can increase it. So as long as we can fully increase that shadow energy, he's always going to stay into that form. Now, the only problem is that I don't see this happening only with 3 shadow characters. Now, I do have 4 of them in here, which are definitely playing a pretty important role. Maybe he can stay even with 3, but we're going to see that better in the Frost domain, because we are going to take this team in there. So his damage compared to Aspalta is really not that great. If you're looking at the damage output per second, he's just not pushing in that much crazy damage, right? For an exclusive character. So that kind of like makes me, well, don't get him. Makes me want to tell you don't get him, right? Unless you have a lot of summons. I don't think they're going to be very powerful in the endgame content either, because all of the gear sets that we have tend to benefit the summoners, which tells me that Lilwanis and her crew will still be more powerful for the Necrosis element. This is not specialized in single target damage. They are dealing AoE damage. So it's hard for me to imagine this doing way more damage than the summoners, right? They just won't do it. So instead of getting him, I would rather get the artifact for Lilwanis, get a Bernard if you don't have her, or even save more pulls for the Dark Lady, because we're going to have another banner for her in Season 3 as well. Maybe you want to get a duplicate of her, so she lands an additional debuff, or who knows what you might want to do. But as it is, I'm just not feeling it. He does have a pretty good build as well. I mean, he has the best build that I can give him at the moment in terms of enlightenment and all that stuff. And Aspalta does have a pretty good build as well, but the damage difference in between them is not that crazy, right? He dealt 10% more damage than her, 800k to be more specific. So I'm not too impressed with that. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. One thing that I want to try as well is, let's see if we are keeping only 3 of them. Maybe I was talking a bit of nonsense saying that we cannot keep him in the demon form non-stop, only with 3 characters. Maybe we can. Maybe I've seen other things that kind of like got me confused. Maybe that's a possibility. So let's see. Are we gonna generate enough shadow energy to keep him as it is? We might actually do, yeah. It seems like we are, yeah. It seems like we are. So I was talking a bit of nonsense. Yeah, he's definitely keeping his ultimate energy to maximum. Yep. Okay. It is dropping a bit more because we dropped one of the shadow characters, but he's still keeping it up and running. But now, funny enough, the damage dropped a bit for Aspalta because we do not have the other shadow character in the team, right? So, looking at it now, his damage almost doubled. Because she's not able to use her ultimate skill as often. but that still doesn't really make me change my mind, because if I'm bringing in the other shadow character instead of him, Aspalta is gonna push more damage. It's not gonna push such high damage as he would, but it would be more damage than she does right now. And for a 10% damage boost with an exclusive artifact, because he does have his exclusive artifact, I can see myself recommending this team. I think they nerfed him too much by changing him to enlightenment damage, and I don't think he's very, very good. I think he was much better before. Let me know what you guys remember as well if you played the previous version, but I'm not too excited about his new version and enlightenment damage. And heck, I'm not excited for his skin at all. The old skin was much, much better in my opinion. So right now he almost doubled the damage. Yeah, he almost literally doubled the damage. But that's fine as well. Aspalta can get the job done. Now, let's head into one of the domains. I haven't done a guide on these domains this time around. I might do one in the next few days or so. But what I'm going to do, guys, I will leave the team code for the Frost domain team that I'm using with them in the pinned comment. So you guys can use it as well if you want to. I do prefer using Dauntless. They're definitely more reliable, more powerful in here. But this will get the job done. So we are going to use the HP aura from the Dark Lady to make sure we have enough survivability. And I'm even going to use one of these. More necrotic damage and 10% more defense. Now we are going to use Thorin right here to tank our Dark Lady. The more stats she gets, the more stats the rest of them are getting too. You gotta make sure you pair them next to each other, so she basically takes over his form. I have no skill timing for this or anything like that. I don't really find the need for it, to be honest. It's not a very fast team either. It's pretty slow. Now, they did change the domain bosses. They have different mechanics. You need to have a lot of basic attacks. I feel like maybe if I would build them with artifacts that give me a lot of attack speed, it might be good. It might not be as good as I think. But I would rather showcase them with their intended artifacts. I have his exclusive artifact. I have the shadow artifact. So we're going to try to make the most out of it as it is, right? And I will show you the builds after, just in case if you're curious. And then we're going to go into PvP and do a couple of fights in there to show you how they work there. So we are in the monster form. My Dark Lady is getting hammered in here. The boss putting the block buffs, a lot of debuffs on our team, a lot of crowd control, which kind of sucks. And the boss is gaining those stacks, those buffs, right? Let me see with which skill the boss is gaining them. Okay, we actually lost Ozul right here, which kind of sucks. So I'm going to retry this one. Everyone second takes cold damage and has a chance of briefly stun. No, not that one. It might be from the passive. Gains 5 stacks of Thorn Skin. Each time inflicts a negative effect, which is basically going to reduce the damage. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to redeploy because we lost Ozul in here, and that is a bit of a ripoff. The boss does deal a lot of damage. Let me show you the builds first, actually. So this is the Dark Lady. She does have a pretty good build. Not bad at all. This is my Aspalta. Pretty good build. Full crit. Good crit damage. Good attack. Max talents. You can see their talents as well. Then we have Thorin. This is the build on Thorin. Then we have Ozul. This is the build on him. So increases the AoE damage. We literally have pretty good stats. More attack on him would be nice, but hey, it's definitely not bad. The talents. And then we have Daphne. We have Daphne with the downpipe organ. Basically, we try to squeeze in as much attack as possible because Ozul will gain a lot of that attack. But even with that taken into consideration, it just doesn't seem to be that great. Now, I could try to build some resistance on Thorin, but honestly, it's going to be so hard to get some decent enlightenment on him and stuff to kill the team that it's just going to make it very, very painful. I could try maybe a different path in here as well. But this one literally has the best talent, so we're going to stick with it. No skill timing, as I was mentioning, right? So let's give it another go. Hopefully this time around he's going to survive. I've done a few runs before with the team today, and it does tend to fail. If somebody dies, especially Ozul, who is the main damage dealer, we are in trouble in here. So I could try to put him in front of Thorin. The only problem is that my Dark Lady will definitely die after, and that will make us lose a bit of healing too. Even though we're actually not gonna generate healing with her because we have no enemies disappearing from the map or allies. So there's no healing being generated like this. I just remember that. But she still brings in the debuffs and gives additional stats to the rest of the team. And truth be told, it's not like I have a much better option in terms of what I could use in here. I could use a Ripcast as a tank, but that's not necessarily going to be very, very helpful either. You don't have that many options thinking about it, right? It's just lightning and necrosis. I could run a Zephy or an Atheniel maybe. It might help a bit more, but I'm not really seeing that extremely helpful either. Is he gonna die again here? No. Okay, so he's out of the shadow form right there. I'm not 100% sure why. Maybe because of the stun and stuff, we were not able to get enough of it. But I think he's gonna die right here because the boss deals so much freaking damage. Almost. Like, the boss deals a lot of damage. And this time around, this boss is not messing around. Is literally not messing around. So much damage. Maybe another healer could be good. Maybe if I'm bringing in okay, we lost a Spalta this time around, which kind of sucks. So somebody's dying. Even with the Dauntless team, I have one of them dying. That's usually, I think, Ivelios. I think Ivelios usually dies, though. And it's that fast. So you see, they're not really performing that great. I don't find them that interesting. Like, if they're struggling with this boss, I mean, come on. Come on, but you shouldn't be struggling with this boss. He's a domain boss. I know we are under-leveled and all that crap. But comparing the Dauntless team with this is a bit of like, not very impressive. You know what I mean? Okay, so he's using that shadow energy. We almost took the boss down, though. So hopefully he's not going to kill him right before that. Okay, we're stunned right here. He's out of the shadow energy right there. Or the demon form rather than out of the shadow energy. Okay, we lost Daphne now. I mean, we have healing. We have the decrease attack too. Like, he should be this team should be performing a bit better. I would say let me do a run with the Dauntless team to show you the difference. The best time that I've got with that was 234. I guess later on they will become a bit better once we're at max level. This is going to be easier. But this is the team that I'm running. You see high inspirations on them as well. And a bit underwhelming, right? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I feel like Corrosion is great. Aura, somewhere decent. I feel like Aura used to be the weakest one before. Maybe that changed. Maybe that changed and Shadow will be weaker overall. Now, if we head into PvP, we have a round-wide arena tournament. I haven't really played it much, so I feel like it's the right time to do it. Right here, we have a Frost team, so we're going to try to dodge some of these Vitar hits, and we're going to do them like that. And we have the exact same builds. I haven't changed anything. Maybe a couple of artifacts. So she has this one to use the battle skill straight off the back, right? Then the Dark Lady has the Rift Hourglass. We're not applying defense down in here because Aspalta will go in and ignore some of the defense. They are spread around pretty much. We have the Mimic. This is a good one for PvP, but I'm gonna run the Starlight Stoneborn, and we have an El Cibri in this team. I'm curious to see if we're gonna be able to take them down or we won't. Now, El Cibri won't manipulate our ultimate energy, but putting on the debuffs can be annoying, right? Ooh, look at that Asphalta. She just hammered them, right? So they can do this. In terms of PvP, I think they're great. I think they're really, really good. Some of the better ones this time around in terms of what teams we can pull off. Because in Season 2, we had the new schools of damage. Ice Blast was not great for PvP. Thunderbolt wasn't that great either. Was the better one, though. And Burn wasn't great either. I mean, Frost absolutely demolished them. Let's see how we are going to perform versus a Necrosis team. I'm not expecting them to be that powerful, but if you're paying attention to their Shadow Energy, see back, we are getting some Shadow Energy, but not enough to actually jump in and go crazy. Right there, Maya Spalta was not able to use her ultimate skill in time because she got stunned. The recharge speed penalty won't affect the Shadow Energy, but it will just control them with other debuffs, right? Like Ripcast just did it. So we're going Shadow versus a mixture. So right here we have Nasty Jenka. She's gonna go for the lowest HP. I'm gonna check who that might be, and that is Ozul. I'm not sure if we can do anything about it. Probably she's still gonna jump on him. Maybe she's even gonna kill him. Let's see. No, she wasn't able to do it by the looks of... Oh, damn! I got killed by their Shadow team. You saw that? I got killed by their Shadow team. So funny enough, I almost lost it. And I still have a very high chance at losing this one if Ozul is not going to take them down. But he got them. Okay, so Ozul came into the rescue here. But damn, that first hit that got our Daphne down, that was nasty. Truth be told, Daphne was a bit low, right? So we have Thunderbolt in here. A very, very, very weird team. A very weird team. So I'm going to spread them around a little bit because I really do not want that Ripcast to go ham on me. So I'm going to try to bait Ripcast on this side. Now, Perkunte on his own, without any other Thunderbolt characters, he's gonna suck. Let's see, what else we have in here? Are we getting this down? Yeah, we are. Okay. Quesitia, she is a pretty good tank. She used to be much better because she was applying decrease attack too, which got removed. I still do not understand why, unfortunately. But, hey. I guess it is what it is. So I'm going to continue to push it. Okay, we have a full team right here. A full Thunderbolt team. Quesitia is part of it. She is one of the better tanks to use right now because of her passive, though. I just don't have the max talents on mine, which kind of sucks because I cannot apply that ultimate energy on them ASAP, and I might lose this fight, actually. I might lose this fight because my Asphalta just did not had a chance to move, to use the ultimate skill. I have no form of crowd control except the recharge speed penalty. And the Thunderbolt team can stun me, which kind of sucks, right? And let's do... Ooh, this is not gonna work. This is definitely not gonna work. Because the Dauntless is most likely going to clap us. Let's see. I actually haven't fought Guinevere yet. But they're down. Okay, so we did put a stun. I mean, Quesitia does have the ultimate skill that stuns next to it, but it's not like we have any gear sets or anything like that as we had in the previous season to just land stuns quick, right? Righty. That's the Shadow team for you guys. I think the best place to use them is PvP. I'm not too keen on them in PvE, but let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As usual, appreciate every single one of you guys watching. Much love, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.